is Robert Lackey. I'm the co-founder of Bison, and I'm here today with a very important video.
Because I am Cool Jules, and that is Chris the Show Simko, and Mr. Rob Lackey, our special guest
That's right.
of the afternoon. Everybody give it up for Rob Lackey, everybody.
Woo!
Woo!
Thank you. Thank you.
And like I mentioned earlier, those fire leathers that's in the back. What?
Oh, can you see them?
Yes,
Bison.
absolutely.
There you go.
Bison.
Beautiful.
Is it made out of bison? No.
Everybody asks that. No, that one's kangaroo.
Okay, close, pretty close.
Yeah. We're going to have to make a special edition bison, like a bison leather suit, I think, at some point.
Is that legal?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
The only thing illegal is kangaroo in California. You can't do the kangaroo in California.
Oh, so wait.
Hmm.
Wait.
I didn't know that.
I'm a little stupid right now. So you can't wear kangaroo leathers in California?
You can wear them there. We can't ship them to California. So they don't care how they get there as long as we don't ship them there, I guess.
I gotcha.
California is a strange place.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I wonder what the laws were like. They're like, yeah, cow leather's good. What about kangaroo? Kangaroo? I don't know.
Yeah, at one point in time, it's kind of an antiquated law. At one point in time, they were worried about, the sustainability of kangaroos. And so this was, I think in the 70s, they implemented that. And so it's just never been looked back at, I guess. They just left it. So the soccer shoes, are a big thing. Soccer shoes and ball gloves and stuff can't be kangaroo. So
that's insane.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
That's insane. It's very interesting.
It is.
Yeah.
So California within itself is a very interesting. I'm actually leaving to California in a couple of days. I'm going to Oakland, NorCal.
Me too. Well, I'm not going to Oakland, but I'm headed to California today. So yeah.
Nice.
That's cool.
Sweet. SoCal, I'm assuming. Where it's
Yep,
nice.
yep. We're going to Chuckwalla. So
Yeah, Chuck Wall.
Oh, Chuckwalla. I've always wanted to go there.
well, come on down. Just grab an Uber from the Bay area down to Chuckwalla.
6.5 hours, 7-hour drive. Shoot, I'm down. I'm actually the one doing all the driving. But so the show brought you on the show. I'm gonna let him take it from here. Go ahead, Chris.
Robert Lackey, I appreciate you coming on. It's an honor. What you're doing for the sport in Moto America and your leathers is phenomenal. And I appreciate it, man. It's amazing the work you're doing. So what got you into motorcycles to begin with? Like,
oh man. Well, I always wanted a motorcycle. When I was younger, I used to grab the Sunday paper and circle all the dirt bikes that I thought I could get, with the money I didn't have. And I go to my parents and lobby for it. Like, hey, there's this dirt bike. It's only $1,500, and they're like, no, you're never getting a motorcycle, never a dirt bike, nothing. Didn't help that, my uncle almost killed himself on a sport bike when he was younger. So, anyway, as I got older, I got into cars and, I was like, I always kind of looked at motorcycles, but I'm like, I feel like I'm crazy enough in a car. I probably would kill myself on a bike. Let's just not mess with that right now. So I had the wherewithal to know I wasn't going to respect the machine enough to be on one. And so I did the car thing for a long time. And I married my wife, Tasha, who I'll talk a lot about in this because she's Bison. I'm just the guy that gets on the camera and does, I'm the writer, but she makes Bison go. And ironically, our lives revolve around motorcycles now. Yes. And, it's ironic that our lives revolve around bikes now because she told me when we first got together and I brought up motorcycles, she said, if I ever let you get a motorcycle, you will know that I have another guy lined up. Because I know you're going to kill yourself anyway.
Whoa, I love it.
She knew me well enough. She said, I know you're going to kill yourself on a bike, so I'll just have another guy in the waiting. So if I let you get a bike, you'll know that's the case. I'm like, okay.
Yikes.
Fast forward about 5 years, and then from that conversation, I was playing hockey. I played hockey for 20 years. I was a goalie. And that was my real passion. And I kept getting hurt, and Tasha's like, you really need to hang it up. I'm like, yeah. Finally, I had a bad game one game. I got hurt, and I was pissed off, and I said, that's it. I'm never coming back. This is the last game. And I actually hung it up. But then I went into like this deep depression. I was just miserable, you know. And
Right.
you hear about athletes stop playing a sport and then they just get depressed.
Yeah.
And I needed an outlet. So fuel prices shot up around that time. That was what, 09?
Yeah.
Something like that,
Yeah.
you know?
08,
Prices
wow.
went through the roof.
Yeah.
Right, right, right.
Yeah. So I got my foot in the door. I was like, you know, if I got a scooter, I could ride the scooter to work, right?
Smart
I rode
man.
the scooter.
Yeah, smart man.
Found my opening, went for it, and it worked. She's like, okay, just a scooter. I rode that thing for like 6 months, dude. I had so much fun with it.
You start
And,
dragging it.
Oh, I was dragging the side stand, the center stand everywhere.
Stand
you know,
dragging.
That's it.
It's a
And
new sport.
so then I said, you know, this scooter's kind of unsafe. I can't really get out of anybody's way. I've only got my brakes, right? I need throttle to like get out of the way. Plus, I could get on the highway. It would really cut my commute down. And it was one of those. We went back and forth, back and forth. She's like, you know what? Do whatever you want. Do whatever you think is the good idea. Okay. So I came home one day with a 600 Katana, and she's like, "What the hell is that?" I'm like, "It's the thing that you said. Just do whatever I wanted." She's like, "That's not what that means." Apparently, with the women. But anyway, that's how it started. And then you know, I went through several bikes. I had that Katana for maybe a year, and I really enjoyed that bike. Actually, it was a good, you know, just cruiser. But then I got my first Ducati. I got a 620 Monster. And a few successive Ducatis. That was really the reason I got into it, was I wanted a Ducati so bad. I crashed. I had a 996. Yeah. Hey, love it. Heck yeah. But yeah, I crashed my 996 playing around in Arkansas, and you know, going through twisties, and I just lost the front and threw my bike in the woods. And I was like, why the hell am I doing this? You know, I just kept getting faster and faster, you know, or just pushing it more on the street, you know.
Right.
I was like, I should probably go to a track,
pushing it more and more. Yeah.
Yeah, I just could see the writing on the wall. You know, I'm like, if I slid into oncoming traffic, I'd not be here right now. So
I'm done. I'm done. Yeah.
You know, it's just so I took that bike, fixed it, and I took it to Hallett here in Oklahoma, which is our favorite track. It's my favorite place in the world. And I rode there one time, came home, sold the street bike, bought a trailer and a race bike, and went racing. So
nice.
That was it.
So
nice.
So you're still fairly, I mean, 08, 09, 10 is some years ago, but still fairly recent compared to other people who've been riding since they were like 2.5.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing you'll find about me is that I'm really like, Chris can relate to this with the ADHD stuff. I lock in on something, I go with it. Like that's my new love. That's my new passion. Boom,
right
all
now.
focus.
Right. That's it.
You know?
Right now.
Yeah.
I love you.
I wonder if that's what I'm going through, because this all happened to me on my 26th birthday. I was like, I'm getting a bike. I'm gonna be focused on the sport, and then I ended up loving it, and that's why I'm here. If I didn't buy that 2007 GSXR, I wouldn't be talking to you two beautiful people who just happen to have better looking eyes than I do.
It's our cameras. Our cameras are better.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's the camera. That's it. Yeah.
But while you were telling that story, I was like, oh shoot, I just came up with a name just now. Like it was great. Talking about like your girl threatening you and stuff like that. I was like, damn, Rob Throttle Happy Lackey.
I like that.
Throttle happy.
Yeah, I like
he's
it.
throttle happy. It makes perfect sense. Yo,
it's got a good ring to
happy. We're gonna have to redo that intro.
It does.
What do you think?
That's all
Rob
right.
Throttle Happy Lackey.
That works for me. I like it.
Could you imagine that on the ass part of your leathers, like just Throttle Happy? 10%.
My next set. I got to order one for next year. I might have to do that.
What the heck? That'd be awesome.
It turns out, for the most part, everybody that we've been giving nicknames to, they're like, "Yo, shit, I love it. It's great."
Stick with it.
Yeah. Like, we're gonna put on our leathers. We're gonna put it on our bike. I'm like, 10%, 10%. What? No.
Yeah. You did royalty.
So it's crazy your journey from wanting a bike, and your girl's like, nah, I ain't with it, and then now look where you are, and she's the backbone of Bison. So how did that come about? Like, how did she become like a pivotal part of all this, and just was like, fuck it, I'm gonna support you, I don't care?
Yeah. You know, it kind of took a tough spot in our lives for that to happen, for her to kind of, you know, galvanize with that. Right. So we what we were doing, her and I were I don't want to get too much into the story of how Bison happened. That's a whole thing in and of itself. So we can save that. But basically, you know, the bikes were kind of a side note. I was racing and I said, let me just do this for like 3 years, get it out of my system. See if I can get white plates. You know, it's something I've always wanted to race motorcycles. I always wanted to race something. And I was autocrossing cars and stuff, but I'm like, I really want to race bikes and I'm not gonna be able to do this. The older I get, I ain't getting any younger. Live once, YOLO, right?
Like, I'm with you.
Shout out Drake.
I'm with you.
Right. Dude, she's so supportive, man. She's awesome. And she's like, listen, if you want to do it, it's fine. But I'm going to be back from it. I don't want you to spend the family's money on it. You spend your own money on it. You know, sell some of your shit, whatever. You know, spend your own money. And then, and I'm not really going to go to the races and stuff. And I'm like, all right, well, that was a bummer because I really wanted her to. She went to a couple events. We went to Texas World Speedway. That was the second one she went to. And we were right outside turn 1. We were pitted inside turn 1. And so Texas World, which is now gone, unfortunately, but, you know, it was a super speedway. It's a NASCAR oval. So you'd come, you know, I was racing the CBR 1000 when I started. And, you know, you're doing 170 off the banking down into turn 1. And she was standing right there watching. So she watched like 2 laps of my first practice. And then I said, what'd you think? She's like, I stopped watching. I'm not going to watch this. I'm like, okay. Well. And from then on, she really didn't watch me. And she still actually doesn't watch me. Went to Daytona. She watches everybody else. We're friends with all the racers, of course, but she doesn't watch me really go. So anyway, she was kind of like, I don't know about this. You know, I worry about you and everything. And rightfully so. It makes sense. But then she started seeing friends crash and realize, okay, this is not like a street crash where you're running into something and stopping all the time. Yes, you know, you're sliding and tumbling and usually you're getting back up. Okay. So she kind of started letting her guard down a little bit. And then she started coming to the track more and really just meeting the awesome people at the racetrack, you know, and the track wives and girlfriends and the ladies that are out there riding.
The family, the atmosphere.
Oh, bingo. And she started getting reeled in, you know?
Yes.
So she started getting onto it. And then once we started Bison, you know, I was working on building the products behind the scenes, but I didn't know what I was going to do with it, you know? And she's a CPA. Yeah, she was the director of finance for a marketing company before we started this. And so anyway, she came to me one day and she's like, listen, I know you're running out of money. You know, you're spending more and more money after a few years of racing. She's like, if we had a business that we could write some of this stuff off and make a buck at the track, that would be really cool. So if you think of something, let's talk about it. And I'm like, oh, I've already got it. Like, I've got an idea. So that's kind of how it was born. But once we got into that, then she started working on the business side of things, which is her true passion. And so it took the business and the family side, you know, the paddock atmosphere, the motorcycle community, and the business sides. And that's boom, she was in at that point. So
that's magnificent.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is magnificent. That's so awesome, especially to have a wife that backs you 100%.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was going to say, Chris.
World of a difference. Yeah, for real.
Yeah. It's like someone you love the most is your backbone.
Is with you.
Right. It would have been worse if you were a UFC fighter, man. She definitely wouldn't have showed up for anything.
Yeah. Oh, you can't watch UFC. I try to watch the fights, and she's like, nope, can't do it. Your second somebody starts bleeding.
Turn it off.
Yeah.
You're a fan
of UFC?
Yeah.
So, like casually, I like watching it if it's on, but you know, it's hard to follow. I follow enough stuff that it's. I follow basketball. I like NBA and of course racing. So, you know.
Yes. I have someone else to talk about NBA with. Shit.
Yeah.
we had another Moto America guest on a couple months ago, Josh Gerardo. Shout out Josh.
Yeah.
Josh was a I think he was a Division I basketball player, but he doesn't keep up with the NBA.
Yeah,
so I was like, man. Yeah. So I couldn't really chop it up basketball with him, but he knows his stuff. Division I. Cool. Now he's racing Stock 1000, which is insane. Yeah. But I can't really talk NBA about the Knicks. I'm from New York, so the Knicks are just doing terrible. So I can't.
Yeah, I know. I'm scared to I like the Knicks, though. Yeah, I do like the Knicks.
That's sweet. Oh shoot! Do you play?
No, I suck. I'm terrible.
Oh,
so here's the thing. And this is why I like. But this is why I like basketball. So you know, everybody's like, well, you played hockey for 20 years. Why aren't you a hockey fan? I love hockey. I think it's the best sport in the world, but it kills me to watch it. It absolutely kills me to watch because I want to play so bad. And so, yeah, it's tough. And then honestly, racing, it's hard for me to watch racing too, and really get into it because I want to be out there so bad. I'm just really competitive. I like being a participant.
Right.
If I know I can do the thing, you know, that's not to say I'm a great racer either, but I at least want to get out there. But with basketball, I'm terrible. So I have no illusions of ever being good at it. So I watch people do it. I'm like, wow, that's really impressive.
You watch other people who are good at it.
Yeah.
So you don't really watch like MotoGP or.
I do. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I follow MotoGP as much as I can while we're on the road and stuff. We're going to get the GP pass next year and really follow it. Because
I get it. Yeah,
you know, we want to delve more into the 2 and 3 also, you know?
Yeah.
Do what?
I was like all $500 of a MotoGP pass.
I know.
No, it's not that much. It's like $100. It's still expensive. It's
180 or something.
Or yeah,
I should have done it. We were going to do it this year and we didn't. We were so busy with Moto America. I was like, just focus on that right now.
Chris is a bad man though. He subscribed to all 3. World Superbike, MotoGP,
British Superbike, Isle
You're subscribed to British Superbike?
Yeah, I do it all.
What?
I'm a two. Look,
I need those
listen,
logins.
Robert,
We get those logins, brother.
I got you, dude. Robert, I will hook you up, brother. I told you I will.
You'll say it on the
100%.
camera.
I won't. Private message.
I'll share my Xbox Game Pass account. I'll share my Netflix. I'll share all that shit. There's not a lot of things that I'm subscribed to, man. I'll share a couple OnlyFans. You know, just
all right. All right.
OnlyFans. That's great. But
no,
I don't watch any other sport. I don't watch basketball. Nope. I don't watch football. Man, to me, motorcycles too is life. Look, I named my son Hayden Rossi after Nikki Hayden and Valentina Rossi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's my whole life. That's it. Off season, I watch reruns. I run That's what I do. Reruns. Isle of Man, British Superbike, Moto America, World Superbike. I'm in it. Australian Superbike.
Yep.
I don't even watch F1, NASCAR, none of that.
See. Sorry, go ahead, Jill.
Oh no! I was gonna say well, F1 is it's the closest thing to motorcycle racing I could get into in the opposite side of the universe. So, and also Drive to Survive was just fantastic.
Drive to Survive was fantastic.
I haven't watched it.
You got to, Robert.
I started the first episode, and then I need to sit down and just binge them with Tasha. Like I feel
it's good. It's good.
Yeah. Are you the type? And unwind.
Sorry, I lost you there, Jules. What was that?
Oh no, I said, are you the type to always need to be busy? Like it's kind of hard for you to just sit down and sort of unwind.
No, that's Tasha. Tasha, 100%. She's got to be doing something. And so that's what's hard is like if I sit down to watch a show. Mm-hmm. She is like she's on her phone, she's checking emails, she's doing these things, and I'm like, we were watching a show together. She's like, I'm here. I'm watching it. I'm like, you're not watching it, right?
I'm watching.
That's my wife, Robert. My wife does the same thing. We're watching Stranger Things. What are you doing? I'm match 3 in. I thought we was watching. I am. Okay.
I'm listening. I hate that response. I'm
listening. I'm gonna watch. Did you see that thing? And then we get into the next scene. She's like, what's going on? And I'm like, well, if you watch, something happened. You had to see.
This is crazy. It's crazy. Like I wish, and I've said it many times on the show. I wish MotoGP had a Drive to Survive thing because that shit that was on Amazon was definitely not worth watching.
It was trash.
Pressure
really?
rises.
Okay,
yeah,
I haven't
garbage.
I heard mixed things about it.
It was terrible.
It was.
They're gonna do it. They got to do it right?
Yeah.
You know,
they had Valentino Rossi on screen, and then they English dubbed whatever he was saying. It's like my days in MotoGP have always been, and I was like, oh god! And then you hear Rossi's audio in the background going, "Hey, I had a lot of fun," and I was like,
it's like trying to voice over Guy Martin or something, you know?
Yeah, Guy Martin.
But you almost need to do. You almost need to do.
Yeah.
It was so terrible. So So the show knows a lot about you. Like I said, he's the one who got you on the show. Is there anything, Chris, that you have a question for that's burning through that wonderful little blonde skull of yours.
I mean, I always have a lot of questions for our guests, man. And
Hell yeah.
I feel like when I reached out to Robert, I always call our guests before we get them on because I like to build a personal relationship, and establish it because it shows on camera, where we were like, hey, what's going on? It's nice to see you. You can put a face, a face to the voice, man. Obviously, I wanted to ask you about how you got into Bison, and all that. You pretty much, covered that. Have you ever been like out of the country and done any races overseas anywhere?
No, man. I've been to Mexico. That's it. Okay. I haven't raced.
That counts.
I went down there. I did dune buggies. It was
okay.
Great.
I bet that was fun.
No, it was a blast, man. I won a work trip, and we went down to Ensenada, and we got in these buggies. They're flat four Subaru motors, naturally aspirated, but man, they had the full decked out suspension and everything. And so we went down, ran Baja for like 4 days, and it was the actual, the Baja route. It was super cool. But all I could think while I was doing that was, man, the guys on bikes are nuts doing this. Like, it's just.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. What was like the motor scene down there?
The what?
Like what was like the motor scene down there? Like it was a lot of people that just on dirt bikes and.
No, we were out in the middle of nowhere almost the whole time. We started the trip. Kind of funny. So it was like 15 buggies lined up. Mm-hmm. So Wide Open Excursions is the company that does this. You should check it out if you want to do it. It was amazing. Mm-hmm. But they had like 15 buggies lined up. And of course, we get this badass BF Goodrich live read, buggy. It's super cool. I took all these pictures of it, and the only thing wouldn't start. Wouldn't start. No. Everybody takes off. And so we got the radios, and the ventilation system. And they're like, we're good. Just once we get it, because they have pit crews that follow along. And so this pit crew's working on this car, and they get it fired up. Uh-huh. So we hop in, we harness up, and they say, okay, just, follow the chase truck or the parts truck, and they're going to lead you through. So we go through Ensenada, and it's raining, and this thing's open windscreen. We have helmets with vents on them, open windscreen, Baja buggy, and we're going through the streets, and this truck is hauling ass. So I'm like trying to keep up with this dude, weaving through traffic. That was the only time we ever saw traffic, really. Other than that, once we got out of Ensenada, it was pretty much in the middle of nowhere. But we came through this intersection, and this Tahoe, this black Tahoe, comes flying around the corner with lights and sirens on, and I almost hit him. And I turned, and I hit the median, and it was one of those deals. I'm like, oh, this is gonna suck, and the thing just went, because the suspension has 80 inches of travel, and I'm up on the median, and it's these two, like, I don't know if they're Federale or whatever you call them down there, and they're in suits in this black Tahoe, and they're yelling at me and stuff, and I'm like, oh no, like, I'm just trying to, sorry. But it was wild, man. That was the start of my trip. I'm like, this is gonna be crazy, and it was pretty wild. But no, other than that, we were in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
We didn't see any bikes or nothing. I thought, I thought we'd see other off-road vehicles, especially motorcycles out there. I didn't see anything. So
yeah, because I would have assumed like the motor culture down there would be pretty massive.
Yeah,
especially during that event.
Too.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I know people that go down there and race in Mexico and say it's amazing. People will just go just south of the border from Texas and race. One of our racers, Elisa Gendron, she races down in Mexico and does a lot down. And I see videos, and it's huge. Like her races that she's at look like a MotoGP event with the crowds and stuff. It's awesome.
That's
and
awesome.
Then, it's wild. And then some people that go down there for hill climbs and stuff have said it's really cool, the hill climbs. Yeah. So
I gotta make a trip down there, man.
Yeah,
I'm afraid that I might come back like 15 pounds heavier because the food there must be insanely good.
Food's awesome. Food's really good.
Oh, that was good. Shoot, you said come back 15 pounds heavier.
15 pounds heavier. Shoot, if Thanksgiving was bad, could you imagine Mexico? Shoot.
Yeah.
But see,
I can eat Mexican every day.
Yeah, I love Mexican food. Absolutely love it.
Same four ingredients. It's some sort of tortilla, corn or flour. It's cheese, it's meat, and it's beans. It's the same four ingredients. They just put them together different.
Somehow rice with that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And guacaamole, can't forget that.
Man, some good shit.
I
Chipotle needs to step up. I freaking hate Chipotle, yo.
Yeah, garbage.
So Rob, so your affiliation with Moto America, what exactly is the thing that you do for Moto America?
Well, so what we try to do is provide a lot of trackside support. When we first started this company, we said, all right, we're trying to grow it regionally, which meant selling our house, buying an RV and just traveling full time in this RV, which we've now done for 3 years.
That's awesome. I love it, Robert, dude. I love it.
Devotion.
It's such a great story, man. I love it.
It's been a blast, dude. It's so cool.
I know.
Wouldn't trade it for nothing. We Airbnb'd our house for a year and a half, and then after that, we're like, wait, why do we even have this? We're not going to go back to it. Like, this is too cool, so we sold it. But anyway, so the fact that we can travel and we're trying to build this business, in different regions instead of just the Texas to Kansas corridor, which we have on lock. We're like, all right. What's the easiest way to get coast to coast and get exposure? Well, it's Moto America, obviously, Yeah. You're from one coast to the other, you're on TV, all this stuff. So we basically took all of our advertising dollars for that first year and put it all into travel and gas and our, pit passes and our paddock space and Moto America and all that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And it, cost us several $1,000s, but we did it. And we started the first year with 2 riders. We had Dominic Doyle and Cooper McDonald from BartCon Racing. Mm-hmm. And we had a couple other part-timers here and there, that friends and stuff that would show up with Bison. But really, we just had 2 Bison riders. And we really lucked into the fact that Cooper and Dom both had amazing years. That was, the year Dom came in second to Rocco in Junior Cup, and he was up there neck and neck with Rocco on TV every single weekend.
I remember
that winter,
ago,
right? That was 3 years ago now.
3 years ago. Okay. 20.
Yep.
2019.
Yep.
What? 19. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. I think it was 19. I have my pass somewhere in here.
My piss.
That's the easy way, just abbreviate the whole pit pass thing. It's called a piss.
Piss pass.
I love it.
So, there's like that off season. People were like, "Hey, we saw what you did for BartCon. That was really cool," because we were there every event, Right. And they're like, "Hey, we'd like to wear your stuff next year, And we got to network with everybody. And that first year, we met so many people. I mean, Chris, just being in the paddock, you get access to everybody, know. And
I love it.
It's like it's not even like going around trying to. We don't even try. We just are there, and then it's like at night we're grilling something and drinking a beer, and somebody walks by, and we start talking, and next thing you know, it's whoever. It's
boys.
And so it's just grown exponentially every year because of that. It's like, you guys are here, and we want to support you, or we would like your trackside support for us, and so that's worked really well for us. It's been a good model. It's taxing, Tosh and I talked about how long are we going to continue to do this, and we're like, well, we're going to continue to do it until we have the capacity to hire somebody to do it for us, which we really don't want to do. So we'll go as long as we can till we run out of money or our health goes south or something. We're going to try to keep doing this. But it's been great. I mean, that first year when I don't know if you remember, Dominic Doyle crashed in Pittsburgh, and he was in second position, and he like turned 3, he ran off, and then he went straight for the apex of the next corner. He's off the track, and he's got the whole field coming up, first lap, and he bit it and then rolled into the middle of the track, and Alexis Oliveira hit him. He's sitting up with his back to the pack, and then she hit him, and he was okay, but her brake rotor tore the back of his suit. It was perforated, and that brake rotor just tore it. And so he gets back. I'm like, "You good?" He's like, "Yeah, I think I'm going to be good for tomorrow." All right, cool. We'll just patch the suit up real quick, and you'll be ready to roll for tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So I go around the paddock looking for the sewing machine people, hey, who's here with the sewing machine? Everybody's like, "No, you can leave him, and we'll take him to the repair guy, but there's nobody here." I'm like, "There's not a sewing machine in this paddock." They said, "No." So immediately I made some phone calls and had Michael Copulus bring a sewing machine to Jersey. I'm like, "We're going to have a sewing machine."
Nice.
So, so
I'm going to make it happen.
Austin Miller's dad, he had an old singer, and he'd been telling me, he's like, "Dude, I've got this singer if you want it." And so he said, "I'll have Copulus bring it up." And so we got that, and then we've been stitching stuff together at the track here and there, emergencies. It's usually here in the van with us. But but now we have Stage Tailoring, our partners. They're our repair and alterations partner out of Ohio, and they're great people. Grover and Kim, they're awesome, and they go to all the events with us. Yeah, shout out to those guys. Go to sagetailoring.com and definitely give them a shot. Their pricing, their speed, and their quality of repairs it's awesome. It's great.
Good.
And that's worked out really well. We lucked into that again because Grover contacted us and said, hey, we've been doing these, he's a rider himself.
Right.
And he said, my wife's a seamstress and we have this business and we really want to get into motorcycle stuff more. Can you, do you have a way to get us in the door? I'm like, yeah, please. Because I don't want to be sewing stuff. I need somebody reliable with good work, and their work ethic is amazing, man. We brought them into the paddock a couple years ago at Daytona, and I said, just be ready. When you get here, it's going to be crazy. It's not going to let up. And they're like, well, we hope so, because they come from Ohio to Daytona. And I'm like, it'll be worth your while.
Trust me.
Dude, yeah. At the end of the weekend, they're like, we're doing this every weekend. This is awesome.
This is us. That's great. That's fantastic.
That's amazing.
So we just brought our canopies up. You'll see the black and green Sage Tailoring, and then our Bison canopy looks like this. And we butt them up next to each other and share spaces, and it works out really well.
Magic happen.
Shoot,
it is, man. It's been great. So that's been great for the paddock, I think.
So this is what I'm going to need. I'm going to need a leather suit, nice and tight around the muscles, and a little bit of baggage on the stomach. And I want it tight on my butt. I want all the parts that I want tight to be tight. But my stomach, you might want to leave a little bit of room there.
We've had people ask, they're like, can you make it where I can let the stomach out, like depending on the season, and depending on the time of the year? I'm like, we got to come up with that. That might be a
stretchy part.
Situation,
right.
Just call it the Michelin Man fit.
Yeah,
Michelin Man fit.
Michelin Man.
That's awesome.
We're gonna put the Bison belly band in there where you can tighten it or loosen it.
Oh, I love it. The belly band. That is epic.
I'm gonna write that one down, man.
There you go.
10%. The belly band. Y'all heard it first on Pin the Gas.
Boom.
10%. Yes.
Shout out to Pin the Gas. That's right.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's wild. I guess it's a question from me. Do you game at all?
Man, I used to game a lot when I was younger. I had everything, and that was my deal. It was I'd play games all day, go play hockey at night, and then come back and game till 3 a.m. These days though, I just don't have a lot of time for it. I do have I have a badass Alienware laptop that I got mainly for like video. So that was my thing. I was like, gosh, I need this laptop so I can chew through video. Because I like videography. And
OnlyFans.
So yeah. Times haven't gotten that tough.
That's where the belly band's coming in.
Yeah, it hasn't gotten that tight yet.
I was asking because a lot of the riders they would play games like Ride 4, and then
so I do play Ride 4.
Yeah,
I do play the heck out of Ride 4. Nice. Oh man, my son Carter, he's 15, and he just now, just kind of last year, got into motorcycle racing. Like he's always kind of like, yeah, I don't know, and now he's like, I want to do Junior Cup in 2 years. I'm like, whoa, let's get you off a KLX 110 first, But
right.
Anyway, he's been playing a lot of Ride 4, so he and I will get on and we have fun with that. So Ride 4 is one that I play. The problem with I know the new Warzone came out, and I really want to play it, like new Modern Warfare and everything.
Yeah.
But I lose days out of my life.
Me
it's
too.
Gone.
Yeah.
I just sit down and I'm like, it's gone. So
my ADHD, I'm just like,
yeah, like I can't do it.
I can't stop. No, bring me food, please. I need a bucket to pee in. I can't move.
Call of Duty is just one of those games where you could just pick up and play.
Yeah,
and then especially for people like us, like we're busy, so like I don't have time to go through a beautiful storyline of a game. And the reason why I ask, because like a lot of the people on our show that play games like Ride 4, they're like, this is how I know Turn 5 at Road America is like, because in the game, I do this, I shift down a couple gears and I hit the E, like stuff like that.
Yep.
So that's what I like asking, because I feel like playing these games is like the closest thing to a simulator you can get.
Absolutely.
It is.
So
it is.
I had So two things with video games and riding. I was at Road America, and I'd never ridden Road America. I'd been there a few times, but I'm always working, And a friend of mine, Quentin, he said, "Listen, you need to ride my bike." And it's a S1000, and it was Jeff May's old bike, so it had a lot of stuff done to it. And he was like, "You really need to ride my bike, ride my bike." He twisted my arm, and I'm like, "Fine, I'll ride your bike," right? And so I went out in intermediate because I'd never been on this bike or on this track. And I love Road America on like Forza and stuff, or like just the racing games. So like by the third lap, I was fine, and I was like, "Dude, put me in advance." It was amazing how much the game translated to the racetrack. Even car games, even driving a car, but just knowing where the track is and the lines. Yeah.
Yep.
And then
which way to go. Yep.
This was it October. I rode an R6 for the first time. Never ridden a 600 ever. Like I've ridden thousands and 250s and everything in between, but 600s, never even on the street. So a friend of mine, Haley Cox, she loaned me a R6 to ride at Daytona. So having never ridden one, I got on Ride 4 and downloaded Daytona and got on the R6, and I ran lap after lap. And dude, when I got out there, I knew exactly where to shift. I knew exactly where to get on the throttle. It was like lap 3. I was like, the game is accurate. Is
on
it?
Point. So we'll go with that, Robert. How in the video games where you could do suspension settings and all that. So how realistically close is that to your actual race bike versus the video game?
Yeah.
Right.
So it's hard. The thing with bikes is it's so much, to me anyway, it's like so much feel. Like you can get on a car game and change the suspension, and okay, when I turn here, the car's going to turn or whatever. But when you get on a bike, like just putting pressure in different places or changing your body position a little bit changes how the bike handles, and it might react differently to the suspension changes. So I mean, you can see the changes in the game when you mess with the suspension, but it's not like a car game where it translates 1-to-1. I feel like there's so many different variables with riding. And that's why motorcycle games are so hard compared to Forza or Gran Turismo. You pick it up and you turn the car, it turns. But with ride, when you turn, the rider transfers and then the bike doesn't start turning
right.
And that messes with people.
Again, it pisses me off. It pisses me off so much, Like, because I have I have like a Marc Marquez Top Rack Razgatlioglu type style, so I like to brake really hard into corners, and then that shit just sends me to the moon. It was so bad that I was like, "There's no way riding a bike on this track in real life is this hard."
Dude, I agree.
It's
hard. It's so harder. But I will tell you this: with the braking, don't slam the button all the way down. So just kind of go into it like halfway. Otherwise, it just for some reason even with the braking assist on and everything, you go off the track.
Little stopping. Because I'm stubborn, so I went straight to the 1000cc class. So I went ahead and I bought the RSV4, and I just souped it up, and I'm like, yeah, this is my bike. But actually, my best bike in the game is actually the S1000 RR. That bike handles phenomenally in that game.
Absolutely,
but
in real life.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, it's amazing. It makes so easy. Yeah, it's wild.
That's awesome. Is that your favorite bike?
I think so. I really that S1000. I rode it at Road America, obviously. Then I also rode it at COTA. He loaned it to me at COTA. Yeah, and it's just
phenomenal.
So good. I hate riding other people's stuff, especially when it's nice stuff like that, because I'm only going like 7/10, and I'm like, I want to go farther. But I do know I'll go through the carousel at Road America, and I was getting faster and faster through there, and I was kind of pushing it, and it was making a noise, and there was something on the dash going, and I'm like, it was going, and I'm like, is it misfiring? Am I almost out of gas? And I look down, and it's the traction light, and I'm like, oh, you're keeping me out of trouble. Okay.
Right. That's awesome.
So it's cool. It's little things like that, that you can set. And all these bikes these days have, of course, the wheelie control and the launch control and all that stuff. But the S1000 is just, it handles so well. I'm
starting to think that it's kind of close to being like the perfect bike. Like in my opinion,
a lot of people say that. Yeah,
a lot of people do say that. Yeah,
I rode the S1000. Insane. But me and Chris were talking about 2 days ago, and I was comparing my feel with the S1000 single R and my 07 GSXR. So I was like, the single R felt amazing. But it felt like low key I was riding a computer.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
So
yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Does. You know, and there's something to be said for riding a raw bike.
It is.
I
Nothing
that,
like it.
You know?
It is.
Dude.
You got to do the clutch, blip it. Yes, dude. The whole nine. It makes you feel like you're doing something.
Yeah.
Well, I told my buddy Quentin when I got off his S1000RR at Road America, he said, "What do you think?" And I said, "It feels like a video game on automatic."
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Dude, going in the corner, the auto blip, just pop, and I'm like, "Whoa, I'm in second already. I didn't do anything."
Right.
You know, and then you just come out, duck, and you're back up to speed. It's a whole other, you know, from my SV650 with, you know, no quick shifter on it. It was I'm like I'm trying to wrestle the thing, you know, just to get it to shift. S1000 just ride itself, you know, it's wild.
It's great, and it's only a matter of time, in my opinion. It's only a matter of time where they're going to start winning titles. I feel like BMW has such a ceiling.
Tyler should have a good lineup.
Yes. It's wild to me how they haven't. I'm surprised they haven't had more success in Moto America. I think it may be just lack of factory support.
It could be.
I'm not sure. I know Jason Waters is one of our riders in Stock 1000. You know, and he went from the Beamer to the Honda, to the Fireblade, and just promptly went back to the BMW. He's like, dude, it's just not even
close. Yeah. Not even close.
Every time I talk to him with the Honda, he's like, we're trying, you know, and he was struggling. So, but the BMWs are just so good, man. And every year, every generation, they get better and better.
They do.
It's crazy.
Yes. Exactly.
It does.
It's kind of like a Volkswagen GTI. Volkswagen GTI is the perfect car. And every new generation gets better and better. You know? It does everything well. You can put all your stuff in it. You know, you can put the family in it. It's fast. It handles well. And,
get good, great gas mileage.
Exactly. And that, that's what I used to drive. So that was
nice.
I always said it was perfect car. You know?
So what's your plans for next year, Rob?
So we are going to travel again. Yeah, we're going to do the Moto America thing again, and just to stay on the road. We're going to try to do more flat track and drag race events.
Nice.
That's something we've been trying to do for a while, and this year we have some really we got some prominent flat track riders, and we are also the official leathers of the All Harley World Shootout, Harley Drag Racing Association. So that's really cool, but we haven't been to one of their events yet. So we got to get to some of those. But yeah, we're definitely going to be on the road like we have been. You know,
are you going to be doing any events in here in Virginia?
Man, I don't know. I was super bummed that VIR wasn't on the docket for Moto America.
I know, me too.
Everybody was bummed, and that sucks. Hopefully, we can get out there. That's a great track, of course, and then. I have a lot of family in that area, so we like to be there. So hopefully we can make it to an event. You know?
I mean, did you ever go out there to any other like CCS events or WERA or?
No, because it always happens that, well, part of the thing is with my family being out there. So we go for the event for Moto America, stay for, you know, the track day the next, you know, Monday or whatever.
Right.
And then we just go to my family, you know, see my sister and aunts and uncles and stuff in the area. So we didn't really hang around the track like we normally would for other events, you know.
Right. Gentlemen, just give me 2 seconds. I have an emergency I got to deal with my grandmother.
You're okay. No Go ahead, Chris. No problem, bud.
Take the show.
Yeah. I got it, man. We got this. Woo! Yeah, man. So flat tracking's really good. It'd be awesome. Have you ever worked with JD Beach?
No, dude, and I'm a big JD Beach fan. I've never even met him. He seems like such a cool guy, and I'm like, man, yeah. I next year I want to meet JD Beach because I watch flat track and I always root for him, but I rooted for him back, you know, when he was road racing. You know,
I know. Whatever happened to that? What happened with him in road racing? What was the deal with that?
You should have him on the podcast and ask him. I don't know,
dude. I know. I want to.
A lot of people go to flat track. I think it's just. Honestly, I think it's money. I think the money's better. and flat track. Road racing's a tough gig,
it's a
man.
business.
When it comes to money, geez,
you
know,
you
we
gotta
hear it
have
all
it.
the time from our riders. You know, they're like, if you know anybody that has money, we could use it. There's so many fast kids coming up that just don't have the funds to carry on, and it's sad. It's so sad. You know,
it's sad too because Moto America right now we're growing. You know, it's we've had Loris Baz and Danilo Petrucci, so we're having
awesome.
international people like Moto America. We almost had Tom Sykes.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he almost came. So and now we got Cam B coming back, which is phenomenal. I'm super excited about this year coming up, man. I really
too.
am.
It's gonna be wild, man. It's really gonna be wild.
Yep. We got Rocco Landers done really good this year, the 600 class. We've seen the past couple races he was winning by 7 seconds.
He's going to be the one, man. He's going to be the one to watch in Super Sport.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then man. Yeah. So what's your favorite racetrack here in America?
Oh, I will always say Hallett in Oklahoma. Hallett is right outside of Tulsa. It's a great little track with a ton of elevation, and the people there are amazing. The Stevens family owns the track. They're just the nicest people. But Hallett is absolutely gorgeous. It sits up on a hill and just overlooks, it's wooded area around, but you overlook the, Oklahoma landscape, and the sunsets there are perfect. It's just awesome, man.
It sounds awesome.
For just kind of feeling at home, like I literally want my ashes spread at Hallett. So there you go.
Nice. There you go. That's it.
Yeah. But I think racetrack wise, when you talk about the track, I think Daytona that's my non-negotiable. When we go to Daytona, Tasha knows I got to find something to ride. If I don't have my bike with me, the last 2 times I've raced there, I've borrowed a bike from somebody because I just got to race at Daytona.
That's awesome. I couldn't imagine. I raced at Firebird when I was in Phoenix, and I've done a bunch of track days at VIR, but I've always wanted to see what it felt like getting on that banking on a motorcycle at Daytona. I'm sure it's you can't describe it. Yeah, you can't describe it. Yeah,
it's one. Yeah, it's I told my wife, I always wanted to be a fighter jet pilot or an astronaut, and I said that's the closest I'll ever get. Being on the banking, dude, it's nuts.
Facts.
It sucks you down to get the bike, the G load, and the bike handles totally differently on the banking than it does anywhere else. And,
so when you race at Daytona, Robert, do you set your bike up more for the banking or the infield? So
the infield is not very demanding. The track is very easy to learn, and it's very you get a lot of rest time. So if you lose people in the draft, then the race is over. You got to be able to hang with people in the draft and not blow your engine up when you cross start finish and go through the tri-oval, because you always pop your motor there. So really you set the bike up for the straights and the banking. You can keep the bike. I mean, that R6 that I raced in October had stock suspension on it. And it's not a bumpy track. It's not a bunch of elevation or weirdness. It's just the infield's flat, kind of sweeping, flowing. And you can get away with a lot suspension wise there, So just set it up really to go fast. It's like
that's awesome. Set it to go fast.
Yeah, it is, dude. It's just, and I wanted to race Twins Cup there when Moto America went last year, and again this year. The problem is it's round 1 of the Moto America season, which means Tosh and I are scrambling around the pits, and we're handing out 20 suits and getting everybody their pit shirts, and there's always some sort of issue we have to address, and so everybody needs their patches put on for tech, and it's just a huge. And I said I probably shouldn't do it, but I did have a bike lined out. Sean Hill, former Twins Cup rider, he had his Yamaha ready for me. He's like, but Sam McDonald needs to work on the motor; it needs a refresh. So call Sam, see what it'll take for Daytona. And then I'll get the motor to him, and then you can ride the bike. I'm like, cool. So I called Sam, and I said, listen, I think I want to ride Twins Cup at Daytona. And he's like, oh, man. He's like, Rob, I'm just going to shoot you straight. I don't think you want to do it. I said, no, but I do. I feel like I'm decent at Daytona, and, if I had the right bike. And he's like, people are telling me to build their engine so that it blows up as soon as they cross the finish line on the last race. That's just, build them until they blow up. Just get me through the race, but all horsepower, all, weight. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I probably don't want to do that. It's just, he goes, if you qualify, it's going to be way down there, and it's just all horsepower. And And we saw that. I mean, Blake Davis went out there, not taking anything away from Blake. He rode amazing, but
he did.
You know, he got a little kid on the fastest bike on the grid, and he was just
gone,
toasting everybody there. You know, but Daytona is a lot of fun, and yeah, you just set the bike up for motor and let her rip.
And let her rip, huh? I bet, man, that's awesome. I bet it is an experience. You know, just also, man, at the beach and the atmosphere. You know, Daytona is something special, and it's different than any other, you know, place on the Moto America circuit. You know, circus is what I call it. So it's
yeah, I call it that too.
Yeah,
it's the only circus where the clowns pay to be in. You know,
the clowns definitely pay to play in this circus. Yes,
Colin Barton told me that one. That's what Colin Barton said, and I'm like, wow. You called it, yeah.
That's awesome. So, and you're riding the SV650 this next year?
No, I think I'm gonna move away from the twins. I started racing on a CBR 1000, did that for a year, and then year 2 I was on a Ninja 250 all year.
Nice.
I said, hold up, let's just swallow my pride for a moment.
You learned a lot on that 250 though, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Amazing.
Went from a back marker to being middle of the pack, you know, and then front of the pack on the SV pretty quickly, and just all thanks to that 250. And so, you know, it's like the SV has been great, but it just is getting so hard now with the built R7s and now the Aprilias. The Aprilias really make it tough. And I saw the writing on the wall. I'm like, listen, if I want to do a Moto America around here or there, or, you know, club race wherever we go, twins probably isn't it for my budget. I could go get an $8,000 R6 package and still go out and be competitive in the 600 classes, or I got to spend 15 to 20,000 on a twins bike to be competitive. I'm like, you know, come on,
don't add up.
So, I think that's why I rode that R6 at Daytona. It was kind of a trial run to see how I liked it, and that pretty much sold me. That was a lot of fun. And I just think I sold my SV, which was actually a friend of mine's SV. He was sponsoring me with it. And he's like, just when you're done with the season, just sell it and send me the money. So I did that. And the SV's got a new home, and I'm bikeless right now. So
okay, nice.
Trying to figure out the next step. But
yeah, you'll figure it out, Robert, for sure. I already know.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. You know, and I tell everybody when I see people out there riding with Bison, that's like me being out there. You know, when somebody's up on the podium with Bison, you know, they're holding the trophy up. All right, cool. That's Tosh and I, you know, that's how we feel.
Absolutely.
So I'm not too worried about it. I like the rush of riding, you know, and I definitely would prefer to race than do track days. I got to have a rabbit to chase, but also our son's racing now. You know, Carter just started racing, and so he's racing the 250, and I'll be doing that.
Now your focus is on that, which it should
be.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah,
exactly.
Because my son, to me, is my everything, and he had a TTR 50 before he was even born. Like my wife didn't even know, right? And he barely even rode this thing, okay? And I didn't force him, because I figured if I tried to force him, he would be like, man, fuck motorcycles. I want nothing to do with it. And that would just devastate me to the core. You have no idea.
Absolutely.
So and then I got him a CRF 50, thinking that a different color, he might would ride this one, right? Nope. And then I come home with a 2022 Pister Pro FSC 110R. And, man, he got on that thing and rode it for about 5 times. It was like, yeah, okay, I'm done. And so I sold it and bought me a ZX6R, a 2011, just to ride back on the street because I had a track bike. And I pick him up every day on school on that thing, and he absolutely is falling in love with it.
That's awesome.
So I'm trying everything I can. I don't want to push him. I don't want to rush him. But
how old is he?
He's 10. He just turned 10. So, yeah. I feel you do. If my son if I was in your situation, my heart would just be so full of joy. I'd be like, yes.
Oh, dude, it's so good. Yeah.
Yes.
We did an endurance race. He'd never been on the 250. He's been riding, you know, the Grom and stuff and doing the Grom challenge races. And we did a 5-hour endurance race with the 250. And he did so good, man. He was riding great. And it was awesome. He got taken out with on the last corner of the 5-hour race. He got hit and taken out doing about, you know, full pin in 6th gear. So he was probably going 80, 85. And it freaked him out a little bit, but he was okay. And
I'm sure Dad was more freaked out.
I was a little bit. Well, you know, of course, everybody's out by the wall waiting for their riders to come by. And I'm like, where's Carter? And Tasha was like, where's my son? You know, we were smiling, but we were nervous. And I'm like, surely he ran out of gas. maybe he ran out of gas. And then one of the track officials came by and said, hey, Carter crashed, you know, in turn 3. And I'm like, ooh, that's a fast. They count him backwards at Houston. So turn 3 is one of the last corners. And it's like, yeah, between 2 and 3. And I'm like, oh, he's flying. And he said, but he's up and walking. He's fine. And I'm like, oh, thank God. And then another rider, the rider that hit him came by. He was like, I took your guy out. I'm so sorry. I hit him. You know, we were flying. And I'm like, oh, geez. But, yeah, it was stressful. But it was all right. He got the big one out of his system. That was probably faster than any crash I've had, too. So he was pretty shook up. But he's all right. And, yeah, it was a lot of fun. So now we're going out to Chuckwalla, and we'll take this 250 out there, and he's going to ride with his buddies. You know, he's friends with Owen Williams and with Rocco, and he's friends with you know, Kensei and all those guys out there. So they're already like texting him, you know, hey, when you get out here, we got a 400 for you. You know, you can't ride that 250. You got to have a 400. Okay.
So that's awesome. That's
it's
that's what it's about, Robert. That's exactly what our sport's about. That's the love and the passion. Just, you know, new beginners coming in, regardless of who you are, you know, they take you in and it's like you're automatically family from the first 5 minutes you meet. It's no question.
Yep.
That's the goal for us, yo.
It is.
That's literally the whole goal for Pin the Gas is to become a household name in the community, because what and I'm pretty sure Chris has mentioned this, we like to give the unsung heroes a shout on this show.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So like everybody working behind the scenes, because those guys, the Gagnes of the world, the Petrucci's, the Bobiers, all of them, they get their shine all the time. But the people who work underneath, or not underneath, but like behind the scenes and making sure that they're as successful
in the shadows of them.
In the shadows,
shadows
is the guys that we like to bring out there, and we just want to freaking promote this, our division in general, yo.
Moto America, I
feel like Moto America's fire.
Straight.
So awesome,
this is our sport. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
and they've done a great job, man. Moto America, by the way, shout out to those guys. Done a great job the past few years. It's going the right direction. Yeah, it's not what it was back in the day.
With the DMG bullshit. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Listen, it was not going to happen overnight.
It is. No, it takes a long time. But we're definitely headed in the right direction 100%.
Yep. I firmly believe that.
Me too, man. Me too.
I feel like we're catching it at the right time, too. I feel like we're catching it like while it's coming up. Because, goddamn, like look at the people that we've had within the last 3 years come and race here. The talent that we had. And I'm like, holy shit, this is all happening so fast.
It is. It really is.
Make the podcast and let's get it. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You know what I mean?
Right, man.
Have awesome people like you on it too.
Absolutely amazing.
Appreciate that.
I want it to become to a point where it's like, hey, I'm going to Chuckwalla. And like, oh, Jules, we got a bike for you, bro. Come here. I'm like, oh,
heck yeah, man.
That's what I want. That's what I want. Because I haven't done the track day ever.
What?
Yeah, my
we have to get him on the. We have to, Robert. We got to get him on the track.
Yeah, you let me know when you're ready. I got your suit set up for you and stuff, man. We'll get you outfitted.
Sweet. Is there anyone of name going to Chuckwalla?
Oh, it'll be a ton of people out there. Oh yeah,
they always go out there.
Holy shit,
they're always riding Chuckwalla.
We've been trying to get out there for a couple years because every single year, people are like, "Hey, we're at Chuckwalla. Where you at? Hey, we're at Chuckwalla." And I mean, everybody we know out there. Hey, we're hanging out with Keanu Reeves or Orlando Bloom or whatever. You know, it's like,
no bullshit.
But we've always had something wrong with the RV because we end up limping our RV through the end of the year. We beat the hell out of that thing, and I try to fix as much as I can. But usually, we have to put it in the shop for a month or so in the winter, and that screws up our travel. You know, so we end up getting stuck in Kansas. But this year, we're all right. You know, we said, damn it, we're committing to this. As long as the RV runs, we're going to Chuckwalla, you know?
Oh, dude.
So,
that's it. I know, because I watch your TikTok videos on what I got to fix today.
What's wrong?
I'm about to follow you, man.
Yeah, I love that shit. I'm like, hell yeah.
Is it under Rob Lackey?
No. So, well, I have 3 TikToks. Actually, I have 1. But so we have Bison Track is of course, the Bison one that you want to go follow. All the motorcycle content will be there.
Yeah.
But we have a travel channel called Lackey's Be Trippin'. And
awesome. I love it, dude.
On TikTok.
Yeah, that's on TikTok. Okay. We have TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We have a YouTube channel too. We do like travel videos or product reviews there. Like I said, I like videography, you know, so we try to have some fun with it, you know.
Me too.
But Lackey's Be Trippin', that's the fun one where we, you know, do all that weird stuff. Like, what the heck is? I'm driving down the road the other day, and the freaking door just opens. I'm going 70 miles an hour. Door opens. I'm like, okay, you know, took a video of that. I'm like, this is what's wrong today. The door won't stay closed for some reason going down the highway. I don't know.
Now I gotta think.
Wonderful. So you embrace every facet of cinematography, like or videography. I have my own personal YouTube channel that I post like my vlogs. My Thanksgiving vlog is gonna be out probably either later or tomorrow, and it's pretty much just my life outside of all this. You know what I'm saying? So it composes of Halloween. It composes of what energy drinks that I'm drinking, going to the gym, what I'm doing at the gym, and like and Thanksgiving and how I prep for it. And it's very my Thanksgiving one is very like cinematography-esque. I like it. Do you own like a camera or anything of that nature? Like a Black Magic or
No, I've got a regular like a Nikon, like a intermediate level camera. And honestly, I bought that because I like taking pictures at the track. I like photography too. So just want to be able to take pictures. And then some product photos and stuff. But I always have a GoPro on a mount of some sort, so I've got a few GoPros, and there's always one in the van, in the RV, whatever. I'll just stick it on, and something weird's happening, I'll take a video. I've always got my light ring tripod thing, so I have a drone. I always carry a little DJI drone with me.
Nice. Those are phenomenal.
Cinematic stuff. So it's just because we'll end up, we're traveling. We'll just end up somewhere. We're like, whoa, what is this crazy thing we just stumbled upon? Let's get the drone up, and take video of it.
Check it out. Yeah.
I always have a drone with me. So, but I like that. I just don't have a whole lot of time to sit down and really make the type of stuff that I would like, Not
enough time in the day.
Same here. You can ask Chris. You can ask Chris. Like when I edit these. Now I'm gonna get more in depth. Like I'm gonna be leveling out the sound, because unfortunately this app doesn't let me really level out the sound. Some people are louder than others, so I'm just gonna manually do that myself. But you can like the show can attest the amount of editing quality that I do for like the intros. Like I don't know if you've seen any of our intros, but they're all insane in my opinion.
They are.
They look good. Yeah, they look really good.
Oh, you've seen it? Yeah.
Yep.
Well, for this one, it's gonna have new music because this is season 2. So I forgot to do that for Lilligard's podcast, to put the new song on, and I put the old one, and I was like, "Oh shit, damn!"
That's all right. That's all right.
It's just Lilligard, man. It's just Lilligard. You don't worry about it.
He's next.
He's a trip. Yeah, what nickname did you give Chris?
So we did 2, but the first one didn't render all the way through. So we had to scrap that podcast. So it was Killer Chris Lilligard. And then the second time it was Killer Chris the Texas Wildcard Lilligard. So it just made perfect sense.
My daughter calls him Crazy Hair Chris.
Yeah, Crazy Hair Chris.
Crazy hair?
Yeah.
Does he have hair?
It's kind of like mine.
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, it's just as combed.
I've known Chris for a couple of years. I actually worked for him in the twins class in Moto America a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really cool. I like Chris. Actually, I'm going when I go to Texas to MotoGP next year.
Same.
We're gonna hang out. Yep.
Hang out in the RV paddock, bougie RV paddock. Yeah, buddy.
That's it. Bougie RV paddock. Yep. And our friend Dave Neal from OMG Rich Energy, press officer. We're gonna hang out with him, which I'm super excited about.
Cool, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
The connections, the connections that you build through this.
It's networking.
Yeah, it's networking exactly.
And because it's a niche, I assume it's still somewhat of a niche sport with a niche.
Yeah, audience. I think so, especially here in the United States. Anytime we tell people that we own a motorcycle related business, they're like, "Oh, like dirt bikes?" They're like, "No, like road racing." And they're like, "Is that like dirt bikes on the road?" They're like, "No, like dirt bike."
No. Yeah.
Like Harleys? No. Gosh, like crotch rocket. Oh yeah, crotch rocket.
You're one of those.
You're killing me. Yeah, come on.
Like, you're one of those motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I don't know why they sound like
You
that.
touch your knee on the ground. Those guys with the knees on the ground. Yep.
You guys are crazy.
You guys are
Yeah,
jackasses. I don't like you guys.
And I'm looking at the dirt bike
bike.
guys going, dude, I'm not jumping 3 stories on that dirt bike.
Absolutely
I'm sorry.
no.
There's no fucking way. You,
There's
my
some
friend,
sort of
are a
weird-
lunatic.
There's some sort of weird logic behind the dirt is going to hurt less when you hit it.
Nope.
I think is what people think. And I'm like, dude, you're wearing a T-shirt with some old shoulder pads
Sweater.
With
and
barely
running
any
into
padding.
a wall. Like,
Yeah.
no,
You're like
it doesn't
styrofoam
sound
padding.
fun. That sounded fun when I was 16. It does not sound fun when I'm 41. No.
No. I'm with you, Robert. Now,
That's the source of like
No.
all these professional riders' injuries. Is
Yeah.
dirt biking. It's a dirt biking
Exactly.
incident.
Mountain
It's
bike
either-
training and
Yeah.
dirt bike training. It's
Yeah.
you get hurt. Absolutely.
Yeah, like what happened to good old fashioned jogging? Like,
Yeah.
well,
Not as
because you
fun.
can't replicate
Definitely not
the
as
training
fun.
riding a bike, not riding the bikes. That's why a lot of them get into supermoto too.
Well, that's honestly that's why I want to do flat track to get that yaw
Yeah,
control
flat track.
because I've
That's
never
it.
really ridden in the dirt, and I'll take the Grom out there, the KLX, and tool around. But you can tell the guys that get out there, and it's amazing to me. Okay, so this kid Kevin Horney started racing a BMW S1 EY. Okay,
Freaking Chris, he started smiling, and I was like,
yeah, Kevin would laugh about it too. Kevin, I'm sure he never hears the end of it, right? So this kid comes out, young kid, really small kid
Mhm.
at Daytona. Everybody's like, Rob, you got to come meet this Kevin kid. It's his first time racing. He's from up north. It's okay, cool. So he needs a suit. He's in this baggy ass Sedici suit, from Cycle Gear.
Right.
And then there's S1000 with yellow plates tacked on it, plain white bodywork, and he's never raced. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is terrifying, right?
Oh, he's
And
gonna
everybody's like,
struggle.
he's really fast. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. Goes out there, wins I think he won every one of his races but one. He got second. But this kid was
Damn.
flying. I mean,
Damn.
so we took him to dinner that night. We went to dinner because he was really cool. So we went with some of our northern peeps, and so what's the story? Well, he was a motocross racer, dirt stuff. And he comes out there and he's like, dude, when the bike slides around and stuff, like it's just like dirt. There's a picture of him coming out of the chicane onto the backstretch at Daytona, and I mean, it's like that. Like he can't see over it. It's wheeling that much, and just no fear. But these guys that come off the dirt and they get on the road race bikes, they ride them like that. They just come into the corners with their legs sticking out like Rossi right off the bat and slide in the rear everywhere. And I'm like, after 7 or 8 years of racing, I'm just now getting to that point,
Right.
So if you get on the dirt and you get that yaw control and that comfort for the bike where you know that it's not going to immediately bite you, you know what that threreshold is.
That fine line.
Yeah, you can slide the front, you can slide the rear, you can brake later, all this stuff that I'm just trying to figure out without wadding up my street bike and my road race bike, and so that's good. That's definitely
that's
good
also
training.
a big part of our American racing upbringing was flat track and dirt tracking, right? And now you see the Europeans like Valentino Rossi and his ranch out there, and that's what they do, and that's how they train now is the same thing, is by flat tracking.
The VR46 Colt.
Yeah.
Well, and you see that, Colin Edwards boot camp down in Texas.
Yep, Colin Edwards.
Absolutely. Hawk Mazzata, he has, I don't know if you remember Hawk, but
I do remember Hawk.
He's got a camp out there now. And I don't have his website right off the bat, but just Google it, Hawk Mazzata Riding Camp.
Yep.
And he's got a really cool setup. And actually, Bison, we're going to do some stuff with them next year. We haven't really announced it yet, so Tasha might squeal at me for but we're doing some stuff.
You heard it first again.
So yeah, exactly. You heard it first. You're right. We're breaking everything here, but so
I love it. I love it.
But they all do dirt stuff, and so same with Melissa Paris. They've got their their deal. Josh and Melissa have their deals mostly dirt. I think it's all dirt. That's just the way to train, man.
Yeah, it's it.
That's fantastic. So big plans.
Big plans.
Big
plans. We're trying to get, our big thing is we try to support youth riders as much as possible. So
absolutely,
Pop got a hold of us and he said, listen, I'd like to do something for me, but really, I've got this camp. And I went to the website and I see all these kids, you know, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in. You know, anytime there's youth riders involved, that's the future of our sport. We know that those, like I said, there's so many talented, super talented young riders that just can't go to the next level because of money.
Yeah.
And so
unfortunately,
it's super unfortunate. So if we can do anything to kind of ease the burden, you know, a little bit and support them at the track, that's what we want to do. That's why, you know, we got Talent Cup right on our suits, you know,
that's
and
it.
you know, half the grid at Jersey last year in Junior Cup was in Bison. You know, we'd rather have half the grid at Junior Cup in Bison than one superbike rider, if I'm honest.
Yeah, that's what I love it. That's what I love about you, Rob, in the Bison story. It's like, yes, you know, we're there for the up and comers, not the ones that are, you know,
already established.
have all made it and got the hundreds of thousands of dollars and, you know, the free suits and this and that. Right. You know, it's yeah,
free suits.
Yeah,
just
little
scratch. Here's another one.
Yeah, no, it's
it's interesting because some people will come to us and they say, listen, I don't want anything for free. I just want to support you guys. You know, there's pro riders. And I want to support you guys. I have a little bit of money. I've got a good sponsor. Their sponsor's going to buy my stuff, whatever. Don't give me anything. Just, you know, if you want to discount it, that's fine. There's riders like that. But, you know, and then the thing is, we're just such a small company. You know, we're still a mom and pop's company. And we don't really want to deviate from that ever. So
of course
we will, we'll lose riders to bigger deals and bigger companies. That's just, I'll break this to you now. I can do this now. But, you know, Kayla Yakov was one of our flagship riders last year for good reason, you know.
Yeah.
Stratospheric, you know, she's just flying to the top.
She was.
And I told Tasha in the middle of last season, I said, we're going to lose Kayla next year. You know that, right? She's like, no. Kayla loves us and we love Kayla. I'm like, I know. We do, but we're going to lose her. She's going to have all the money in the world thrown at her this winter. And so we did. We lost her, you know. And
all the euros.
So, and I went out to dinner with Dave, with her dad, and we talked, and he's like, listen, this is what we got. And it's like, I don't expect you guys to match it. And I thought about it, but at some point it's like, I gotta have to be reasonable about the long-term situation.
Yeah.
So I told Tasha after I got back from dinner with her dad, and I said, listen, I think we need to let Kayla go. She's got a really good offer on the table that I don't want to hold back from her. And also we're going to spread ourselves thin if we try to match it.
Of course.
But Tasha was really upset, and I said, you know, we can still be friends with them and support them. Of course.
Of course.
But I said, think of it
always
this way.
going to be friends.
They'll always have you to
definitely.
think.
And that's what I told Dave. I said, if she needs something at the track, we're still going to help her. You know, absolutely. Knee pucks, all right, dude, let's go. You know, undersuit, whatever.
Gotcha.
But you know what I told Tasha, this is the analogy that I use with Bison, going to the NBA stuff. All right, from Oklahoma City. You know, we're Oklahoma City Thunder fans. We were season ticket holders for 9 years. So we saw, we saw Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Russ come up as rookies. You know, we were there when they were winning, you know, 10 games out of the year, and then they go to the finals, and then we lose them one by one.
Yeah,
and we're just Tosh was like, "What is happening?" And I said, "Tosh, it's just how it is in Oklahoma City. There's always going to be Miami. There's always going to be LA. There's always going to be New York, and we're just Oklahoma City. And unfortunately, that's." Well, for better and for worse, that's what Bison is. We have a great program, a great atmosphere, you know, and all this. We can do all these things just like the Oklahoma City Thunder. But at some point, our talent is going to leave for New York and LA and Miami if we don't have the funds set aside, you know. And so we've lost some riders that way, and there's never any hard feelings. It's pro sports is what it is. It's business.
Of course.
It's part of the sport. Yeah, it's part of it.
We just turn to the next young rider, you know. Okay, and we lost Kayla. That really sucked. But we have a lot of talent that we added, you know, that we couldn't have done if we would have retained Kayla. We wouldn't have been able to, you know, these 3 or 4 riders to the roster. So,
have you ever worked with Yandel Mendia? He's a buddy of mine. Him and his dad, Carlos.
Yeah, we love Yandel, man. He's always in our RV. He's friends with Carter.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So he's always in there breaking something or making racket. You know,
you should have seen him and my terrorized VIR when they were together last year. It was awesome.
Yeah,
it was. You could only imagine.
He's fun, but he's fun. Yeah. He's a good kid.
Yeah, it seems like you guys have a pretty tight knit, great development program. OKC is the perfect
analogy.
Good analogy, right? Yeah. They draft young. They draft for
the future.
They might not draft the most talented person, even when they can. They go after the guy that has the better fit, and then they build them. And that's kind of where we've turned down some. If I'm honest, we've turned down some really fast and very, very fast writers, very prominent names in some cases, because we look at each other and we're like, it's not a good fit. Like we know behind the scenes some stuff, or we kind of see how they interact with media or people, and we're like, yes, it's not a good fit. So
I have a couple names.
It's got to be a good fit for it to work. It's got to be,
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, I mean,
because it's a business relationship.
Exactly. Yeah, and what we put into, we have a predetermined number of selections for our writer roster for the next season. And each one of those, is important to us because we're a small business. We can't spread ourselves too thin, and we have to be careful about who we select. So,
right,
absolutely.
And I'm sorry, but back to OKC. Hopefully, you guys keep Shai Gilgeous-Alexander because that guy's a freaking tank.
Oh yeah, no, Shai's awesome, man.
There are rumors that they're trying to trade him to New York.
No, those were last year. They're not anymore.
God dang it! I got excited for 0.5 seconds, but
that's awesome.
That's great, man. This sport is definitely reliant on youth, and especially for America, and from what I've noticed, especially coming from a different sport, that man, we need to really focus on who we have here, because the only people that at least I'm banking on is SDK and somewhat Garrett Gerloff. I kind of lost hope for Joe Roberts already. Yeah. Shout out, respect to Joe Roberts, but I kind of lost hope for all of that. So literally, SDK is like my last glimpse of American hope to make it big time.
Man,
he's fast.
Mikey Sanchez.
Yes,
that kid. He's on the way.
Mikey Sanchez.
Mikey was racing Moto 5 and Moto 4 in Spain this past couple years. His family is from Texas.
Ain't he in the CIV this year coming up?
Yes.
Mikey Sanchez.
Yeah. And so he's from Texas, and his family has a hay farm outside of Austin, and great people, and they're awesome. Mike Sanchez rode AMA Pro for a while, and just a short amount of time. He rode on a Corona bike.
Yep.
And Mikey is just, you see these kids. I think Mikey's 12 now, maybe 12 or 13. Oh, geez. Right. But some of these kids are just fed motorcycle racing. This is what you need to do. We're going to groom you to do this.
Right.
And Mikey is one of those kids that just wants to do it, man. He just wants to go. When COVID hit, we were in New Orleans at a CMRA race, and on Friday they called the race and said, "Listen, the governor said everybody's got to go home. We got to shut this event down." And we're like, "Well, where the hell are we going?" And the Sanchez were like, "Well, come to our place, plug our RV in. We got a flat track there. We got bikes everywhere. Carter can ride. You can ride. We'll just have fun because we didn't know what the world. We just called the zombie apocalypse, right? So we went there, plugged in off the grid, man, with them, and every morning at 6:30 in the morning, Mikey Sanchez is on our door. "Carter, wake up! Let's go ride, Carter. Let's go!" And he had 2 bikes out there idling, just a couple 110s out there.
That's awesome.
And we're like, "Mikey, we don't wake up until like 9. You got to give us some time, dude." So we said 8 a.m. 8 a.m. is your limit, right? And so we'd wake up at like 7:30, and Tosh and I would look out the window, and Mikey's outside pacing with the bike, and he's just waiting and like looking at his phone.
Goat.
Dude, he's crazy. They get out on the flat track and just ride, tear all around the land. And but Mikey just wants to go, man. He drives tractors, he drives forklifts, he drives semi trucks. This kid, there's videos of him driving their hay trucks.
We gotta find this guy.
It's wild. I can get you contacted with them.
Yes, please.
Mikey is a trip. This kid is an absolute trip. I can't describe him, but he is so fast, is so talented, and he is going to be a media darling.
We got to find him.
We will.
I get you in touch with them. They're good. Please. And he's actually in Texas right now. They came back from Spain. He just rode at COTA last weekend. He was there with SDK. He's paddocked with him, and so, but he is our next one, I think, that we're watching real close. And his parents are very like they're hopeful, but they're realistic. Mike says, "Listen, I don't know if he can go all the way. We think he can, but Mike says, everybody says I'm fast, but I can only get him so far, and I know that. And at that point, I have to hand him off to somebody else, and that's why we have to go to Spain, because there's nobody here right now that I trust to do this for Mikey to take the next steps, and that's in Spain. And they went out there, and it's been great for him so far. But I really think he's getting some shout outs from some very prominent people in the community.
That's good. That's awesome.
Put some eyes on him.
Right.
But what's crazy, and I was going to ask you guys' opinion about this. What do you think about Moto3 raising the age limit?
I respect it.
I do too.
I respect it.
Yeah. I respect it too. And I also with that, I don't think they should have an ending age limit to it neither, really.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, because, it all comes along to what I don't know. I kind of take it back when I think about the double-edged sword, because, you'd have somebody in there that is just staying in there, winning races, making that paycheck because they're fast enough, and not giving the up-and-comer the next, chance to shine. But
That's
yes,
the problem,
I think it is a good agreement to raise the age limit 100%.
Yeah.
They raised it to 18, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Just tough for guys like Mikey that from the age of 11 have been focused on Moto3 as soon as he can, and now they got to wait till 18, so that's a little tough. But I was just wondering what you guys thought about it. Tasha and I have talked a lot about it, and what I said was, I see these kids that are so young, we're 11, 12 years old. Like Mikey's one thing because he wants to go fast all the time. He just wants to be bike riding. But I feel like there's kids out there, and I see them where the parents are like, let's go. We're going this weekend to ride. We're going here. We're going there. And the kid's like, okay, all right.
Whatever. Yeah.
And they're kind of hanging out in the RV, and the dad's like, let's go. We got to get on the bike. Let's get you out. And they come out, and they're like, okay, all right. And the dads are hounding them. And hopefully it'll take some of that pressure off,
I think so.
Because I think when you're at such a young age, people are trying to get their kids on these bikes at 3 years old,
Yeah.
My son Carter at 15, I'm like, all right, I've never pressured him to ride. I've always wanted him to, but he had never had any interest until not last year. And I'm like, okay, we'll do what you want. We'll raise 110 or we can put you on a 600. I don't care. But these kids are raised from such a young age to all they know is go on a motorcycle, that by the time they hit 15, and now some of these kids are riding like 1,000cc bikes at 15 years old.
Yeah.
I'm like,
that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. It really is.
It's they don't understand necessarily what the consequences are. I don't feel it's just they just know that they need to go out there and go
fast
and go fast.
And go fast.
Yeah, my thing with raising the age to 18 is that the body is more developed, but not 100% developed.
That's true.
So, which is why, and the bikes are getting faster, which is why I understand and know the reason why, unfortunately we have kids who pass because of this, because the bikes are getting faster. Their bodies aren't fully developed. Their bones are still soft as all hell. So even at 18, the body's still not 100% up there. That, and these kids are skinny too. So it's not it's not like you can like bulk up and take a crash. Like, no, you have to be light. Yeah. So the durability of a child is very questionable.
Yeah, it's true. Something to be mindful of there.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's a tough area, but I think 18 is decent. And that for that division, like that, you can't wipe it. Because then you're going to piss a whole bunch of people off. You're going to lose a lot of money.
Yeah.
But
what I was saying to do too, is change Moto 2. Man, I can't stand Moto 2 here anymore.
Really?
Yeah, man, Moto 2 class, dude.
It's
fucking boring, dude. It's like, dude, you got it's
well, compared to Moto 3 and Moto GP, yeah, it is.
Yeah, but it's not even that, Robert. it's a big step up from Moto3 to Moto2. It's obviously a big step up from Moto2 to MotoGP, right? But I guess I would like to see a little bit more electronics involved, right? Because now you're going from a Moto2 bike that, you have very simple electronics and traction control, whatever on it. And then all of a sudden you get in this spaceship and you got 5 billion switches and buttons, and that's even more confusing.
Yeah.
Right. So I just feel like if they implemented more of that and maybe did away with a single engine manufacturer, okay, and also, dude, bring back Tire Wars.
Yeah, Tire Wars, be interesting.
Bring back Tire Wars.
But what's crazy is, on paper, Chris, having the same engine and the same tires should make for a lot of parity in the class. Everybody should be on level playing field, more or less.
Yeah,
but that's not.
I don't understand why it's not closer.
It's not. That's what I'm saying, dude. There's something in that. There's something off in that class. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I agree, Robert. It should.
I want to conspire that maybe a couple teams are able to have mock Moto2 bikes to practice with, just like in the off season. I'm willing to conspire that.
Maybe.
What I mean?
Or maybe some of them are not so sealed.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I mean, money.
Because how
money's
the fuck?
A business.
Yeah, because how the fuck do some kids get on these things and then pull like 8-second gaps?
There you go. Yeah.
Further than people who've been there for a couple of years.
And they're supposed to be on the same bike.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm just like, yo, there's.
Well, I can tell you from the watching the Talent Cup this last year, they were all on those little Aprilia 125s, and just making the smallest changes or finding something that nobody else found that would still be a legal move can make a huge difference.
Huge difference. Yes. Yes.
So you get the right rider on a bike and find something, in the jetting or, in the gearing, even on those bikes.
It makes a big difference. You got an advantage. And one more thing too, Robert, is I'd like to see, honestly, man, like I like the bagger class in Moto America. I mean, who don't like to see goddamn Harley Davidson's tear it up, right? And also the hooligan class, right? But dude, we need to like, I hate saying this, kind of not really get rid of them, but we need to have more of a 65, like a real junior 50cc cup, or have little guys up and coming like they do in Spain and Italy and places like that.
Mini Cup is changing next year. Moto America's Mini Cup is not going to be all ovales anymore.
Okay.
I don't have it in front of me, so I'm going to be wrong if I try to shoot this out there, but they are going to have mini classes. I think there's a 65, there's a 110,
nice.
Stuff like that. So it's really opening it up.
Good.
That's going to be super cool. I'm excited about that. The Polys are great, but they're very expensive, obviously, and it really is such a niche.
It is.
Puts everybody in a niche. So that'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, we got to do more for these kids to just get them in that paddock. And what's great about the Mini Cup, I don't know if you've been to one of the Mini Cup races, but
I want to.
Oh, dude, when you go over there, because they always do them at the mains take place right as the Moto America races are ending, right? So they get on the intercom, they're like, all right, that's it, the races are over, but go over to the kart track because now Mini Cup's starting.
Right.
So you'll go over there and everybody's there. Cam Peterson's there, Petrucci's there, all the M4 guys are there. Everybody is. Roger Hayden's walking around. Everybody's there, and they are not just there because they have to be. They're going up to these kids, and they're high-fiving them. They're sitting down with them. They're coaching them. They're talking to them, taking pictures with them. They're watching the races. They're cheering for them. They're high-fiving when they come back. It is super
Over
cool.
the sport.
And that's what we need is to get those kids in that paddock.
Yes.
Make those connections because that's where you see the pictures
and have
of
a true, like, really cheap. You do.
Do what?
You're right. Sorry, Robert.
No, you're good.
I said, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I said, we just need to have a cheap format race bike. Not the olive age. Just like you said, it's good, but man, it's $5,000, $6,000, $7,000.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We need to have a lower, cheaper bikes that us normal mortgage families work 9 to 5 and do everything we can. Right. Can
hooligans like me
afford actually to buy a set of $100 set of race time. The bike's only, $2,000 or whatever, something
Bingo.
simple.
I'd buy one. Shit.
Yeah. Literally, I'm like, I told Tasha, I said, they got a 50cc class. Like, we're at all the races. We can get my daughter, she's 10. We can get Edie on a 50, and she can race the mini cup.
Yeah.
Like, we're out there,
It's awesome.
It just opens up doors for kids that you wouldn't have normally
It does.
thought about.
They wouldn't know. Yeah.
So
Plus, it also gets the kid for the love and the passion of the sport,
Yep.
Because at the time, like you were saying, when Cam B and Daniel O and Roger Hayden, all they're down there coaching them, taking pictures. They don't realize, some of them might, and their parents probably do, but at the time, little kids not, thinking about who that really is, and they'll go back and they'll see the pictures. They'll be like, damn, you know how awesome that was? And that's why I'm where I am,
these guys.
Right.
Yeah. Motivation. It's motivational. It's motivational.
Yeah.
Very, very inspirational. Yeah.
Well, what I was going to say is, you see the pictures of like these kids with, like, you see the pictures of, like Marquez with Rossi, when he was little and Rossi was racing and Marquez was just some little kid in the paddock, and those are like you see that, okay, yeah, I see where they, and to get those kids in this Moto America paddock, get them the pictures with these pro riders, and the next thing you know, they're going to be on the grid together. It happens so quick, faster than we know, right?
It does.
I'm freaking excited to see who comes in and steps up to be the next GOAT, especially for America, man.
A lot of good ones coming, man.
There is a lot of good ones coming for sure.
Get in touch with the Mikey kid, yo.
Yeah, I need to connect you guys with Mikey for sure.
You will.
Sweet. That'd be great. Now, gentlemen, I think this is the longest podcast that we have. This is an hour and a half.
Dude,
we just get lost in time.
A great time. Yeah, this is
For
what it's
real.
about, though.
Hanging out, man.
Hanging
I
out
do it all day.
for the sport. Me too, Robert. All day.
All day. Hey, Rob, we'd love to have you back, man, especially for
Absolutely.
season 3 or anything, rather.
Yeah.
Let me know, man. I'm always up for it.
Yeah,
This is great.
absolutely.
It's like therapy.
It is. It really is.
Word.
All right, I need to talk to motorcycles with some good people. So there you go.
Yes,
absolutely, man. Especially,
I'm
trying to learn. But before we close out the show, man, is there anything that you want to put on ice for everyone to know? Is there anything that you have coming up? Either one of you.
I will say we've got I got to do some Bison plug real quick. We have a thing going on right now. It's called the Bright Future program. So we are very excited about what next season is going to bring, and we have some new products in development, and we have some changes to our existing products. I have some 3D prints, some 3D models of some stuff that I should have brought in the van, because I could have broke those here on Pin the Gas too. But some new stuff coming for next season that's really exciting, And so anyway, this Bright Future program, what you do is you can go to our website, bisontrack.com, and you can buy a $500 or $1,000 gift card. And we ask that you use that in 2023. So basically, you're paying ahead for something that you're going to buy anyway in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And this is a little bit of a cash flow. It's kind of like a crowdfunding situation. We're calling it herd funding, And we're saying, okay, you're putting the money up front, and we're, that's going to allow us to get to the next step. We're going to order some things, some of these products. And then next season, when you order and you use your card, well, any orders that you make next season, you get free shipping in 2023 if you do this, Bright Future campaign. And then the other thing is we're going to send a gift box to everybody. So if you get in on the $500 gift box, you get a hat, a T-shirt, and a cool pair of socks. We have some awesome riding socks of polyester, and they're super good. So you get each of those, and if you do the $1,000, you get those 3 items, plus you get a brand new helmet bag is one of our new products, and an undersuit. So we'll send that to you in 2023. So that's one thing. But just, go to bisontrack.com and you can see the process, how it starts with our suits and our gloves. We make custom gloves as well. We have 3 different models, each of which is awesome. So you go there, you place your order, and then we get the process started, man. We help you with your measurements. We do video calls. We can partner you with one of our authorized measurement partners in your area, and then we just get it rolling. We have some designers on staff. Their title is Gear Customization Specialist, and that's all they do. So we have a few GCSs, and
Nice.
you'll be paired up
Very
one-on-one.
nice.
You place your order. Yeah, they help you design your dream suit and gloves, man. And then in 6 to 8 weeks, you've got them in your hands and you're ready to go.
Ready to ride. Ready to pin the gas.
Hell yeah. I guess that's it. That's the end of our show, ladies and gentlemen. Chris the Show Simco, Rob, Throttle Happy Lackey. Thank you so much for being on our show, yo.
Thank you, guys. It was an honor.
Yeah,
And for those of you who enjoy the show, please leave in the comments down below. Let us know what you think. Go ahead and check out his website. I'm going to go ahead and plug that in the description down below. Get yourself a custom suit. Get yourself some custom gloves. Get those gift cards so you can get those extra goodie bags.
Absolutely.
Bison, all the way.
Bison, 100%.
Very bison meat.
That's it.
All right, Joe. Well, all's well and ends well. Cool Jules, Show Simco, Rob Thar, Happy Lackey. The rest of you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Peace out.